game over? No way! Cause we got Game Genie!
When it comes to video games, there's a lot to be proud of being a Brit. Whether it's Rare, Rockstar North, or the subject of today's video, Codemasters. Now many of you may recognise one of their inventions, the Game Genie, which allows you to bypass the NES protection chip and activate cheats in the games. This led to Nintendo suing their US distributor Galoob, and Galoob becoming the first company I can think of to successfully stick two fingers up to Nintendo.
Oh no!
But this bizarre cartridge style didn't only lead to cheat systems, it also allowed Codemasters to release their library, and I wanted to revisit some of them and show you why it was crazy that they didn't have an official Nintendo license. Starting off, we have their platform icon Dizzy, and I've gone with Treasure Island Dizzy for this flashback. Treasure Island Dizzy is so typical of a game of this time, with cryptic clues giving you very little idea of what you're meant to do. Graphics are clear and crisp, but what made me laugh is on the options menu, we can choose between music or sound effects. You seriously telling me I can't have both? It's a bit of a conundrum because the sound effects are nothing special, but the music, as initially fine as it is largely the same tune throughout the whole game. After a while it drives you bloody mad. Still, at least you can turn it off and turn your own music on. This game does things to you that feel deliberately unfair. Where the hell did this cage come from? Oh, I can't cycle my inventory underwater because it means I'd take my snorkel off and drown. Yay, I've got some treasure. Ah, crap, I've been murdered because it's cursed and I'm not holding a Bible. Well, the last one's fair, I guess. Dizzy is about as far from a precision jumper as you can get, but then again, I'm not sure what I expected out of an egg. I got hit by this bee, and rather than kill me, it just made my controller backwards. Great! Now I have a character who jumps like a guy after a 12-pack of Stella, who now goes in reverse. Unsurprisingly, I restarted the game after this bit. I found Dizzy an interesting experience, because essentially my feelings haven't changed from childhood. It's an enjoyable enough puzzle platformer, however if you use a guide you'll breeze through it, and if you don't, then you're repetitiously just recycling items in your 3-item inventory, in a hope that it does something to whatever you're standing by at the time. And that can get a little tedious. Next up is a game that has a special place in my heart, Micro Machines. This was a mega favourite for the kids in the street that I lived in, and in fact it was a huge craze at the time. Pick anyone from a large cast of characters, pick your opponents, and race miniature cars around a variety of miniature racetracks. Always thought this was one of the best looking games on the NES, but Codemasters music bug strikes again because outside of the title screens, there's actually no music in the game. Of course, character-wise, we all picked Spider, but the rest are there too. Single player is definitely a blast with a steep difficulty curve. My initial ego on coming first on track 1 soon petered away on the second track as I took several trips to Spiral Down City. The wealth of vehicles available are demonstrated nicely by 2-player mode, where you score points by beating your opponent to the edge of the screen. All in all, this is still a great game. My last game was a game I'd never played before, B-52, which I picked because TGM picked it as the greatest Codemasters game on the NES, so I had to give it a go. It's a side-scrolling shooter, and in typical Codemasters style it looks great. There's no music, and it's a really interesting twist on the genre. It's your job to get to flowers and collect nectar, whilst every insect in the garden attempts to stop you. Butterflies, spiders, caterpillars, they're all angry at you just going about your day job. Sounds like my experience working in retail, to be honest.
People are trying to help her and ask her to step out the store. Of course I'm not helping you. Why would I help you? You're trying to hurt me.
Apparently, these ants are a huge issue if they get to your hive as they steal your honey. Wasn't happening on my watch. You have 2 attacks, a regular shot and a stinger. Clearly this is some kind of super bee because you can sting practically anything without dying. You can also get power-ups to enhance your shots and your stinger, but I was too crap to get one. And this one was particularly embarrassing and annoying. I really enjoyed this. It's a really clever take on a classic genre. Is it better than Micro Machines? I'd probably need to play it more. Codemasters have moved on a lot since the day of the Darling Brothers, but it still blows my mind that in the days of the NES, they weren't pushed as one of the system's most important developers by Nintendo. As it turns out, it didn't really matter to them.